criminal defense attorney Josh Ritter. All right, Josh, let's talk about the fact that I found this doctor, Dr. Dorothy Lewis, when she testified, very credible. And I thought she has the experience, she has the pedigree, and she sounds credible in saying that, yes, she believes she was insane at the time she killed Gannon. Viewers have really, on everything I've seen, taken the opposite position, which is no way. We do not find the doctor credible. We don't believe it at all. And she did it, and she was not insane at the time. What do you think of the doctor's testimony?
I think we're probably getting a sneak preview of what the jurors might be thinking. It's not that I didn't think that she was credible. It's just that I think that these types of defenses are so difficult, and they're so risky for the defense too, because essentially what you're saying is, yes, she did it. You have to concede that she did it, but she did it because she was suffering from this mental illness or the split personality disorder or whatever you want to call it. And jurors, I think, unless they are just fully convinced of that, have such a hard time wrapping their heads around it and giving what they believe to be is a walk to the defendant for this type of a heinous crime, especially when you're having testimony from the husband saying he's never seen it. They want to see someone who just appears to have be so insane that they can't even participate in our culture, in life, for them to be able to forgive someone. And essentially, I think that's what they walk themselves through, forgive someone for this type of a crime.
Yeah, you know what's interesting, and you make a great point there, because what we know about the insanity defense is that it's only used in about 1% of the cases. But in that 1%, about 20% or a little bit more than that are successful. But of those, 70% or more, the person had a previous diagnosis of a serious mental illness. And I think that's part of the disconnect here. But one of the other disconnects that we're finding is that people are talking about this doctor, that she had some issues. She forgot a lot of things. Things didn't seem specific to her. Stuff didn't make sense to her. Yet she's making this very specific diagnosis. They also talked a lot about, and they asked this question about her suggestive questions, almost as if she was looking for some sort of confirmation bias. Let's take a listen to a question asked by the prosecutor about that very thing. Then I got a question for you, Josh.
Do you still think, having watched this video, that it was a good idea to have Mr. Cellini in there with you? Yeah. You think it's appropriate for Mr. Cellini to plant the seed with the defendant that it was James that she actually shot?
I don't think that she planted any seeds. I don't think that she came up with that. I think that I appreciated watching all of it was how extremely confused it was, how big was. I think that it did help for him. It's so complicated for someone who knew much more of all of the details.
It helps his theory. And when he asked, do you think it was James? That helps the theory of the defense, right? That somehow she mistaken a little 11-year-old boy for the stepson that's been, or the stepfather that's been dead since 2004.
I'm not aware that this is his theory.
So, Josh, at the end of the day, the question was asked of her when she was talking about who had done a certain thing. They said, oh, it was James. That was one of her former stepfathers who allegedly abused her. Those are all types of things that taint the process, that I think make people have difficulty not only with the issue of DID, but the way this whole interview went down.
Yeah. The prosecution, when they get these types of expert witnesses, a lot of what they're trying to do is expose that person for essentially just being a hired gun. A lot of the questions you'll see is, how much are you getting paid? I've seen cross-examination of experts that they spend, a third of their cross-examination talking about all the money that this person made to sit here and testify. But another part of what they do is talk about their suggestibility and how isn't it true that your entire opinion on this case is really just fitting itself into the defense theory on the case. And if you can make an expert look like they're biased and like they're not just coming in there and bringing an objective opinion with them, but that they're some sort of, like I said, hired gun for the defense trying to convince the jurors, that can sometimes backfire on you. And I think that's what the prosecution was trying to do in this case.
Not only were they trying to do it, Josh, I think based on the questions that were asked, they were sort of buying into it a little bit and maybe thought that was something they need clarified for sure. Don't know if they got clarified the way they wanted it to, but at the end of the day, great stuff there, Josh. All right, we're going to take a break, folks. Now,